Welcome back, guys, and today we are going to talk about the new banner unit that is currently running JINGYUAN and how you guys should be using him. Now, JINGYUAN is a lightning DPS character that specializes in dishing out absurd AoE damage with also a high single target damage profile as well. His skill kit revolves around charging the Lightning Lord, which is a passive ability that appears on the action bar, which does a crazy amount of AoE damage and weakness breaking. You will want to play heavily around this passive by charging this Lightning Lord's hits per action and speed by using his skill and ultimate in a timely manner. His basic attack, skill, and ultimate don't do too much damage as other skills do on other 5-star units, nor do they have additional dots or extra effects, but they will actually speed up your Lightning Lord's turn and give it more damage on its cycle, which is the main priority when using JINGYUAN. You can kind of think of JINGYUAN as a pet to the Lightning Lord's main ability because of the fact that the Lightning Lord will be doing the majority of JINGYUAN's damage. If you want to get a head start in building up his Lightning Lord stacks, use his technique before entering combat to increase his stacks by 3, which is equivalent to the amount his ultimate actually can charge his stacks as well. Now let's talk about his relics and his ornaments. For his relics, I would recommend running a 4 set of Band of Sizzling Thunder. This will increase his lightning damage and will give him the most damage increase output if you run this 4 set. If you cannot afford to run this 4 set though, you can alternatively run a 2 set of Band of Sizzling Thunder and also a 2 set of Musketeer of Wild Wheat to get that extra damage and attack as well. If you don't have any Bands of Sizzling Thunder sets available, you can even run a 4 set of Musketeer of Wild Wheat, and this will also increase his damage by a significant amount, but it is going to be the least best option of the 3. You'll want to run crit rate or crit damage for his body to increase his damage the most, and it's going to be the same debate for his feet. A lot of people, debate between speed or attack percent. I personally like attack percent, but you can run either speed or attack percent for his feet, and you'll see very, very good results. For his ornaments, I recommend running Inert Salsodo to increase the damage of his Lightning Lord's attack, because it does count as a follow-up attack. This also means if you are struggling in Simulated Universe still, you can actually use JINGYUAN with the Elation Path and kind of cheese the entire Simulated Universe because it will make him do so much damage. Now, Space Sealing Station is also a nice alternative if you plan to run him on higher speed to get that threshold for the attack boost it provides, because it will still give him a lot of damage, and you're going to want to try to run lightning damage percent main stat on his Planar Sphere, and energy regen or even attack percent on his Link Rope to get the maximum stat value from these pieces of relics. For your substats, I would recommend focusing on a combination of crit rate, crit damage, speed, and attack, while making sure that whatever ornament set you're running that your threshold is met, because this will give you your maximum damage output and make your Lightning Lord Daddy hit extremely, extremely hard. Now for JINGYUAN's best light cones, the best option would be clearly and by far his own featured light cone before dawn. This light cone is available in its own separate banner, and I highly recommend trying to go for this artifact if you plan to use your JINGYUAN a lot, because it will make his Lightning Lord hit super, super hard compared to before. Even without this artifact, the Lightning Lord hits very hard, but with this artifact, you will see that you can one-shot a ton of enemies and monsters very, very easily, because it will almost make your Lightning Lord hit almost twice as hard a lot of the times. There are also many free-to-play options you can run. The Seriousness of Breakfast and Today is Another Peaceful Day are the best ones that come to mind. But honestly, if you don't use his featured before dawn, just any damage increasing light cone should work fine and will be pretty similar to other ones you can use if you're not using his best one. For his team compositions, I recommend running him in a hyper carry composition with 2 supports and a healer or a shielding unit. The best support options would definitely be Bronya and Tingyun. You can also run Asta and Pella as well, because they can alternatively speed your JINGYUAN up, which will allow your Lightning Lord to take more turns, or even defense break the enemy side and make your Lightning Lord do more damage. Also, for the healing and shielding unit, you can definitely run a unit such as Bailu, Natasha, Soulweaver, and Japard, and you can do very well. If you are missing some units though, you can swap out accordingly to what you have. For example, you can swap out Byla for Natasha, or like I said, you can swap out Bronya or even Tingyun for Asta and Pella to buff your JINGYUAN. JINGYUAN is a very potent unit that has extremely high damage capabilities when defended and built properly. I highly recommend trying to obtain him, as he will make light work of farming and also will be the best lightning damage dealer for a while, and will make the future simulated universes worlds very easy because of the fact that he scales extremely well with gear, and he also scales extremely well with the elation path, which is going to be very strong if you run him in a follow-up or counter-attacking team composition. Alternatively, if you're looking for a more safer and consistent team composition to run him in, especially for areas like Simulated Universe, then you can actually run him with a preservation shielding unit such as the Trailblazer or Jeopard, and also run him with a healer such as Natasha and Bailu, and then run him alongside either a support utility damage dealer or a sub DPS as well to make a more consistent team comp with a lot more survivability, because you will be finding out very soon if you use him that JINGYUAN is a very squishy unit that can actually die very easily if he doesn't get enough protection. JINGYUAN thrives in areas of content with a lot of mobs and monsters on the enemy side because of his high AoE damage profile and constant AoE pressure with his Lightning Lord ability. He is very good at farming and is extremely powerful in Simulated Universe with the Elation Tree because of how his Lightning Lord attack counts as a follow-up attack, and is also good for Forgotten Hall because there are not too many great lightning DPS units in the game currently. If you ever need a good lightning DPS that has extremely powerful AoE damage and breaking capabilities, he is a very good choice. However, he does require substantial gear to work well because of how his Lightning Lord scaling works, and does require a lot of protection because of how squishy he can be by himself, so you may find him getting hit very hard without maxed out relics or a unit or two to protect him. Even though he's primarily an AoE damage dealer, guys, he still does a great amount of single target damage, but keep in mind he won't be doing as much as dedicated single target damage dealers such as Sela, or even like Dan Heng, who's free to play, or even units such as Yan Qing and also Su Shang. Otherwise though, he's a very powerful unit, and you're definitely going to want to try to get him if you can. JINGYUAN, guys, a very fun unit to use. I highly recommend going for him, like I said. Who doesn't really like a lightning daddy? So I highly recommend that you guys try to pull for him, and even if you get him, don't worry, it doesn't really matter too much because you can progress through the game with a lot of free to play options, but just keep in mind he will make your progression a lot more easier. Like I said previously though as well, his light cone makes him even more over the top powerful than he already is, so if you guys do end up pulling for JINGYUAN and you have summons and warps left over, I would highly recommend going for his light cone as well, because honestly it makes him more than twice as strong, and you'll see if you actually have this light cone that his damage is extremely high, and making him a very powerful single target threat as well. Probably one of the best single target units behind like Sela if you have this light cone. That being said, I hope you guys found this video helpful though, guys. Don't worry too much if you pull for JINGYUAN and don't have the summons for the light cone, because he can work on any other light cone. He's still very powerful. And as always, if you guys found this video helpful, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and comment to show support for the channel and for more Honkai Star Rail content in the future. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.